Welcome to session 26 of the Creating a Coaching Culture program. When people hear the words ethics and boundaries in a coaching context, they often think of extreme situations, the obvious violations, the egregious cases. This session isn't about those. It's about the subtle, ordinary drift that can happen in any coaching relationship when lines aren't clearly held. The moments that don't feel like violations, but slowly become them. Here's the frame I want you to carry into this session. Boundaries in coaching don't exist to protect the coach. They exist to protect the person being coached. When that's your starting point, the whole conversation changes. The session materials identify 3 boundary violations that occur most commonly in informal coaching relationships, which is the context most of what you are working on. The first is dependency. The person being coached begins to bring every decision to the coach rather than developing their own capacity to work through things. When started as support, it becomes a crutch. And here's the uncomfortable part. It can feel flattering to the coach. Being needed is not the same as being useful. Second is confidentiality drift. Information shared in a coaching conversation begins to travel, not through malice usually, but through proximity. You coach someone at work. You mention something they shared to a colleague who already knows them well. You think it's context. They experience it as a breach. The third is role confusion under pressure. In a crisis, the clear thinking and safe space that coaching provides are valuable. But in a crisis, the coach is often being asked to do something more than coach, to advise, to decide, to act. When a person's well-being is genuinely at risk, the coaching relationship is not always the right container. Each of these violations has a tell, a moment when you can see it beginning before it fully arrives. That's what the session materials will walk you through. There are 2 practical tools this session gives you for navigating ethical complexity. The first is the dual role task. Ask yourself, am I in this relationship as a coach, or am I also in this relationship as something else? Maybe a manager, maybe a colleague with an agenda, a friend who has an emotional stake in the outcome. The dual role test is not about disqualifying yourself. It's about becoming conscious of what else you're bringing into the room, so it doesn't shape the conversation without your awareness. The second is the referral conversation. There are situations, particularly where mental health, crisis, or clinical level distress is present, where the most ethical thing a coach can do is say, what you're carrying is real, and I want to make sure you have the right support for it. I think there are people better placed than me to help you with this part. That's not abandonment, that's integrity. The session covers what that conversation sounds like and when to have it. It's one of the most important things in the entire course, worth reading carefully. Ethical coaching is not complicated, but it requires ongoing attention, a willingness to ask yourself in every coaching relationship whether what you're doing is actually serving the person in front of you. Session 27 takes us into territory that's often overlooked. How do you actually know if coaching's working? We look at what growth really looks like from the inside and the tool for measuring it honestly. See you on the next session and or on Wednesday.